So Power Book 3 Raising Kanan episode 1 certainly brought the heat, and as expected with Power, we see a death in the very first episode, with Buck 20 being killed by Kanan, and we're going to get into Kanan's first kill in a bit more detail later on in the video, but we were introduced to pretty much everybody that we spoke about previously, with Kanan, Raquel, Marvin, Lou-Lou and Jukebox, Detective Howard, and we also saw Unique, Raquel's main rival, who showed us why he's the biggest drug kingpin in South Jamaica Queens, with him asserting his authority, dominance and power over Raquel by taking her corners, but Raquel won't kneel to nobody, and she's here to take names in a man's world, but Unique isn't playing games, taking her territory after Kanan killed Buck 20. Kanan is eager to get into the game, with Raquel telling Kanan that you pull the trigger, then you in it, and with the episode doing a full circle with Raquel wanting Kanan to get out of the life by having him transferred to a new school downtown, but then by the end of the episode accepting that this is who Kanan is, there's no running from this life, and is certainly in it now. But we're going to go through all of the main talking points and break down this episode in this video. But of course, if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Universe related, with episode reviews, breakdowns and storyline breakdowns. And as with my previous Power videos, I'll be dropping a second video later on in the evening, which will be all about your comments, where I'll pop up your guys' comments and talk about the main 3 topics in the comment section. So remember to drop your comment down below in the comment section. Let me know what you think and I'll pop up as many comments later on in my video later today. But let's get into this episode, which started with Raquel and Kanan in 1985, and it was the teaser scene that we saw Stars released last week, where Kanan came home battered and bruised after Anton had beat a young Kanan and stealing his money. From the get-go, Raquel showed that she wasn't playing games when it came to Kanan. I mentioned in my previous video that we're going to see 2 sides to their relationship, one where Raquel teaches Kanan very early on to stand his ground and she's not someone that's going to cradle him, and 2, her love for Kanan, which we saw later on in the episode as well. Raquel teaching Kanan to stand his ground by taking him back over to the park and telling him you either deal with them or you deal with me. So Kanan dealt with them, and since then everybody knew Kanan's name on the block. But this was High Post. He was Raquel's boyfriend, who in 50's narration told us he died a year later, so he died in 1986, and I have to say 50's narration throughout was spot on. It made this episode that much better. But that was Raquel teaching Kanan at a younger age, and fast forward to 1991, where we met Kanan at school, where his school advisor saw the talent in Kanan, putting him forward to an entrance exam, where Raquel wanted him to go to school because she wanted a better life for Kanan. She never wanted Kanan entering the streets. She told Kanan that she had a plan for him. She wanted him to go downtown, to go to a good school, get a good job, become a CEO or some shit, but the facts are that she couldn't let Kanan go, and Kanan didn't want to go either. We realized later on in the episode that Kanan is a part of her, not like Jerome, who's Unique's son. We have a 2 polar opposites with Unique and his son, and Raquel and her son, and we saw how Raquel just left her date with Symphony at the drop of a dime when she had Kanan's name. But there's no way Kanan was going to another school. He didn't want to leave his friends behind, Jukebox behind, and he certainly didn't want to leave his family and Raquel behind, so we saw him throw his entrance exam. And speaking of Jukebox, we were introduced to a young Jukebox who had mannerisms on point. We saw her at choir practice, but Kanan in his narration told us, don't let this voice fool you, because there's nobody harder than Jukebox, and we all know about how cold Jukebox was in Power, and she's someone that could see straight through Kanan's love interest, who's Davina, who very well knows what she's doing playing Kanan. But with Kanan killing her boyfriend Buck 20, let's see how this leaves their relationship between the 2. But the show was always going to be a lot more than just about Kanan. We start to see the real power struggle between Raquel and Unique, fighting for power and control over corners and the streets, and Lou-Lou and Marvin are integral to a whole operation. Lou-Lou gets shit done and Marvin is the aggressor, and he was the one who used to be in charge, but gets dismissed by Raquel straight away because she's the boss. How do we know she's the boss? This scene here, wow. When Raquel got disrespected by this club's publicist, she not only sent a message, she burned a dog alive in a microwave, and this is the real raw, gritty vibe that I was talking about that we were going to see from Raising Kanan from the very beginning. They were going to take us back in time and give us a real gritty and raw story from the very first episode, and it didn't disappoint. And Raquel quickly showed us why she's not to be messed with. She's the real queenpin in the Power universe, and she's going to be a fan favorite very early on. She's going to be a very popular character in the Power universe. But coming to this scene here told us a lot more about Marvin and Jukebox's relationship. For those who watch my Jukebox and Marvin's character breakdowns will know that the 2 don't exactly have a close relationship. Marvin doesn't tend to listen to Jukebox, and as I said, we'll see Jukebox having more of a relationship with Uncle Lou-Lou than Marvin, and it stems from music and the connection, and both of them having a love for music. Even in this scene after Kanan had killed Buck 20, we heard Marvin telling Jukebox that she should have been there, but blamed it on her choir practice. He instantly dismissed it as singing shit. So going forward, Jukebox and Marvin's relationship isn't going to be a great one. But one thing you can't deny about Marvin is he's going to be loyal. He's loyal to his family. We heard him tell this man who had a dog who was unable to walk using his back legs to never give up on his family, and this is who Marvin's going to be. He's going to be someone who's loyal and never turns his back on his family. We also met Sean and Jessica, with Jessica who's going to be Lulu's love interest for sure, and Sean famous Figueroa, who will join the Thomas family sooner or later. They're definitely setting that up to happen in the long run for sure. Unique and Raquel in this conversation told told us more things than one. Unique has a brother in prison for life, which I went through in my character breakdown for Unique, and whether we see him later on, I think we will. But they were in talks about control over territory and Raquel standing her ground. She is here to stay and take names in a man's world, and she said, as Post used to say, once you're on your knees, it's damn near impossible to get back up on your feet, and she's not going to get on her knees. And at first, she actually got the better end of the deal with Unique taking an extra block, and that was until Kanan fucked all that shit up. So let's talk about Kanan killing Buck 20. Jukebox was nowhere to be seen because she was out with her love interest Nicole, but we come to 140th Street, which used to be Raquel's corner until she agreed a deal with Unique. Now Kanan was always going to cause some issues for Raquel, and his actions were always going to have some consequences. We were going to see a young Kanan who was going to make some mistakes, and this was certainly his first. Now, not knowing the full story of why Buck 20 and Unique's boys were on Raquel's corner, with D-Wiz, who was always going to be down for whatever, they grab two guns and shoot Buck 20 dead. And as I said with Power, I really wouldn't be surprised to see a kill in the very first episode, and Buck 20 was an easy death prediction. There were a lot of people in the comment section who mentioned Buck 20 was going to be killed, but Kanan's actions were always going to have consequences, and this family will always have its problems. As I mentioned with Marvin and Jukebox and their relationship, it's not going to be a great one, and Kanan now wants in on the game. Lulu is going to be this voice of reason for their family when it comes to business and when it comes to family matters as well. We'll see him setting a lot of beef between both. But here's why we see Raquel's love for Kanan, her being Kanan's protector as well, telling Kanan that he's going to be going to his grandma's and then instantly protecting him during this drive-by shootout scene. And now Kanan's got a target on his back, and will do going into the next episode as well. Even if Unique did take all of Raquel's corners, Kanan will still have a bounty on his head, and he's still going to have to watch his back. This is exactly what Lulu told Raquel. This is the voice of reason, and this is why Lulu is Raquel's right hand. And he told Raquel that ain't no escalator in no school in downtown is going to save him, because Unique and his boys will come for Kanan no matter where he is. And Marvin basically said she can't save him on her own either, and this is why we're quickly going to see Marvin mentoring him and teaching him his side of the hustle, the aggression, the fight, and this is what Kanan will learn from Marvin. As I said at the start of the video, this episode did a full circle with Raquel having a bigger plan for Kanan, with him going to a school, but that turned quickly into accepting Kanan for who he is, because now he's pulled the trigger, he's in it, and after he pulled the trigger, that's the bullet that he's going to be running from for the rest of his life. And now we're going to see Kanan's story, and this episode brought all the heat. It gave us the raw, gritty vibe, gave us the death in the very first episode, which was Kanan's first kill. We got introduced to the real queenpin Raquel, and South Jamaica's biggest drug kingpin Unique, and also Detective Howard, who's going to be a dark and selfish character going forward. So let me know what you guys thought of the episode down below in the comment section. As I said, I'll be popping up your guys' comments in my video for later on in the evening in my second video, so drop all your thoughts and comments down below. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 3 related over the coming months. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.